Carlisle,
Point of order,
Burgess,
please.
and Cindy Grant.
Would you please review the roll call and who's marked here and who isn't?
For tonight?
Yes.
I just did.
Read it.
I'm
Oh.
You know why?
Why is
Because I
that?
copy and paste
They
the
didn't-
previous,
I know why.
and
They
Katie
have to
started
use
the
this.
minutes on there.
I
Brian
wasn't
Carl
even aware
is
of this
present.
meeting tonight.
And accounted for.
I am just
I
a
know where I
figment of your
stand.
imagination.
Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry about that, Brian. I didn't even notice there was a little X by your name.
That's
did.
awesome.
So, I don't think we have any public comment because we don't have any public. Warrants. I'll just read those, you guys. AP warrant number 28 for $1,559.00. PY warrant number 29 for $7,090.96. AP warrant number 30 for $18,629.21. AP warrant number 31 for $375.
Can I,
Yes.
the two that you just did.
Okay, let's add those.
So it's PY warrant number 32
Okay. PY warrant number 32
for $16,154.98.
154.98.
Yep.
Yeah.
And AP warrant number 33
Yeah.
for $184,099.
Oh, say that, sorry, say that.
184,099.14.
14. So we will add PY warrant number 32 for $16,154.98 and AP warrant number 33 for $184,099.14. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the warrants as read.
Second.
Second, all in favor? 3-0. Okay. So those are all done. No abatements, no supplementals. The minutes from November 29th and December 18th.
And then there's two others.
Yes,
from
and we
last month.
tabled the minutes. First of all, we'll do these. Brian, are you comfortable with them? Did you read the minutes from October 30th and
One's of yours, yes.
yes, and November
Yes,
13th?
yes,
Does anybody have anything to add for
What was the other one?
October 30th, 2023 and November 13th of 2023? The minutes from those two meetings. Are you all set with those? Okay. So I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from October 30th, 2023 and November 13th, 2023 as written.
Second.
Second, all in favor, 3-0. So now we have minutes from November 29th meeting with all of us present and accounted for. And we'll take these separately. Does anybody have any changes or additions for those minutes?
I have some
You have some?
questions.
Okay.
Again, I go back to what I think I've said before, is that I'm pretty sure I understand what's being written, but I wonder what somebody would think if later on we go back to read it, some of it isn't clear. If I can go to Selectman's comments,
Yes.
we were, let's see. Word sentence, I guess, the board would like to lock him into a contract. I
Okay.
think we should say vendor or the collector or something other than him, because the sentence previous is talking about me.
How about this? How about we would like to secure Doug's disposal with a contract?
Yeah, that's fine. Just so that later on
Yeah.
we can read it and understand what we were talking about.
Okay, so so the sentence would read, he drove around Friday and realized that a lot of people are going to need to. Yes, the board would like to secure Doug's disposal with a contract with the toter cans after we order them.
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Under
So
adjourn.
who's he?
I think she's talking about him. This is Brian. It's because board
Yeah,
member
it's the
Carlisle,
first sentence
and then
and first
he,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
he should be changed to,
All right.
either that or a paragraph.
you know, he is Brian talking.
Okay.
Then under, you're talking about the money from the Newburgh Fire Station. It says form, and it took a while. I was thinking old Newburgh Fire Station, but probably it's supposed to be former.
Oh, yes, yeah. Michael Vest for the total of, for the form, should be former. Former Newburgh Fire Station, okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, so, you have any changes on this one? Okay, so I'll do this, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from November 29th, 2023 meeting with adjustments to, the sentence under selectmen's comments to secure Doug's disposal with a contract. And then at the bottom, under Board Member O'Donnell, motion to accept the offer from Michael Vest with a total of $145,700 for the former Newburgh Fire Station instead of form. Second, all in favor? Okay, so that one is done. Then this one, the trash pickup. This was, you were not at this meeting,
I know,
right?
but I do have.
You have, yeah, you've made some notations here. What can I do for you? Here. They can purchase an additional can from us at
Oh,
cost.
I'm down in the trash pickup, the second paragraph.
Yeah,
In the middle of the paragraph, they pick blue.
Oh,
they pick blue.
the color blue for the
I don't
cans.
know what
Right.
that blue is for, or is that for a dumpster,
Yes.
or?
How
Yeah.
about the board chose blue?
By
The
the toters.
board chose the color blue for the new toter cans. How does that, is that a better sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah, the board chose the color blue for the new toter cans. Okay. Okay, anything else?
Number one on page 2.
Okay.
Says 467 is a Daigle Houghton. What is a Daigle Houghton?
It should be at Daigle Houghton.
Daigle Holton.
Daigle Houghton.
Oh,
Houghton, I believe Houghton is correct.
Dagon Hope. H-O-U-G-H-T-O-N.
I didn't see anything else. Did you have anything? No.
I
Okay.
had a question if you don't know.
On,
What happened with the, trash pickup on it. That meeting, you told me some time ago that because we have some residents in Newburgh, but their main road is in Hamden, but they had to bring their trash here. And I
No.
noticed you must have talked.
No, so the one in Hamden, the truck actually goes down to Buttermilk Estates on 69. The ones I was talking about, they live in Newburgh, but they access their property through Winniport and Monroe.
Even so, I see that we can't have a dumpster here. Are they taken care of? As
Yes,
far
they're
as-
bringing their trash on Thursdays, on Wednesdays, and putting it out with ours. I told them I just can't hold it there all week with the food products and stuff because it's not a secured location.
So are we gonna have toters for that? Is that what you decided
Well-
to
No.
do, or?
I think I think
We were looking at a dumpster.
Okay.
you got a 4-yard
Yeah.
dumpster for the site.
But through somebody else, right? It would have to be through somebody else.
Eric was gonna see what he
He
has.
was wishy-washy on it.
Yeah, he
so
was wishy-washy on it. If we have to get I don't think you should have toter cans out here.
I agree.
I just think that would be a mess.
Yeah,
I feel like if we have to get a 4-yard dumpster through somebody else, we have to get it through somebody
Yeah.
else. I think he'll be as accommodating as he can, and I think that's
yeah.
what the gist of it
Yeah.
was that night. So, oh, okay, Brian?
Yep, yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of December 18th, 2023 with the changes, delete they picked blue, and insert the sentence, the board chose the color blue for the new toner cans. And then, the second one was under number 1, Fire and Rescue November Report, 467 is at Daigle Houghton. And I think those were the only two changes.
So,
Second, all in favor, 2-0, wonderful. Okay, that takes care of all the minutes. There's no agenda adjustments. Fire and rescue, you are up. Are you all set?
Me?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, I always like to check,
Excuse me.
see what you're spouting about. It's all good.
just to himself. So good evening.
Good evening.
So,
Go ahead, rub it in Brian.
that's right. December was a very busy month.
I was just gonna say, you didn't need to go to 2 pages last night.
Crazy. But,
Wow.
100% for both departments.
Nice.
The guys on the 18th were absolutely amazing. It just didn't stop out here. And they nailed everyone for the calls. It just shows unbelievable dedication that those guys have. But 467 is no longer at Daigle and Holton. It's back in the station. Cost about $682.50 for the hopefully fixed problem. We have to see how it does in terms of if this new valve is gonna make the difference on cold starts and cold runs, and whether or not that'll rear another evil and ugly head of the turbo. So cross your fingers that it doesn't. 466 is at Bushides having the wheel seals changed out. I spoke to Wayne on Tuesday morning, and they were in the process of tearing the truck down, and he said, and I'll quote politely, that he's never seen a truck quite like this, but he used some other words in describing tearing it apart. So he was making some phone calls, trying to find wheel seals, all of this all in the same process. He said it was gonna be a little bit more than he thought as far as getting into fixing the problem. A little bit more of the truck has to come apart on the front axle. So I don't know where we stand at this point, because I have not spoke to Wayne since. But I'm hopefully holding good faith with him that he's gonna hold his word on the price that he told me he would stop at on the front end cost for me. And that keeps it within what I had asked. 464, I just got a call today from Ellery, and Bangor Steel is open, and he is in the process right now of getting all the steel put together for the rear chute repair on 64. He's going to call tomorrow and let me know if everything is a go through Bangor Steel, and I will make arrangements with him to get the truck up there. The truck's gonna have to come out of service for at least a day, because I've gotta dump the tank so that it's obviously empty, and then that whole unit has to come off. He has to tear that unit apart, build it, put it all back together,
Right.
and then we'll obviously put the truck back into service. I don't know exactly when he's going to be ready, but I will try to keep you guys in the loop as soon as I know. Neil and I have been working very hard on getting our truck specs on paper and in front of us between Fiera and Pierce, who are the two truck companies that we have decided to look at for the fire truck with the AFG grant. We've got both the trucks spec exactly the same through both companies, and Fiera right now has come in at about 946,000, and Pierce is coming in at about 1.2 million.
Have you got anybody to take that class yet?
Neil is going to. He said he would step up and get the AFG grant.
Is it just an online course?
No, they generally have it in
In
Bangor.
Bang, yeah, that's what he said, he was checking with the guy at Bangor that does all the grant writing for
Yeah.
them, and he's giving him all what he needs to do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that works, but the guy from Bangor offered to help him actually
Yeah.
write the grant,
Yep,
which I'm more than happy to
That's-
allow that to happen if you guys are okay with it, because
Yeah.
this guy is already AFG certified, or whatever you wanna call it, for the classes. That's what he does, and he obviously gets a lot of grants for the city of Bangor.
Sure.
So that guy has stepped up and offered to try to help out. Our biggest problem right now in determining what we're going to do, honestly, is this guy has told Neil we would have a way better chance of getting a grant truck if we take 464 out of service, because it's a manual truck. And the fire service is going away from manual trucks 100%. They are not even heard of nor thought of anymore.
I didn't even realize that truck doesn't have an air system,
An air system?
doesn't have an air hookup to keep air in it.
Yeah, it does. The valve is bad, and I've got a valve on order.
Oh,
I'm waiting for the valve to come in so we
I went
can,
down
yeah.
today and I'm looking, I'm going, why is
Yeah,
that air
no,
hose?
because the check valve that's built into the chuck itself
Oh, okay.
is let go,
Yeah.
and it won't hold air, so it does us no good to plug it in. So I've got one on order coming so that we can go and have it changed out.
So you would take 464 out of service, and when would that happen? When you?
Not until
To do
the new
grant
truck
app?
is put into service, 64 would be allowed to be continued as a service truck. However,
Are you gonna have room?
well, we would right now, because 64 would still be the only truck. You got 2 years before we'll ever see a new
Oh,
truck.
yeah, that's.
So
right.
64 will still maintain its position until our new fire truck comes in. The only timeline that we would have between the two trucks being in the station would be while we're trying to get everything in service on the new one. So I gotta work out something at that point for sure.
I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I think we better write a grant first.
Well, we're looking at all the possibilities. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got a very wide span of ideas and thoughts. But we're still trying to decide if losing 4,000 gallons of water versus a 1,000-gallon truck is the best way to go, or is it better that we lose the 4,000 and almost, I can't say guarantee us a truck, but improve our positioning by many percentages higher. Because at that point, if we take 64 out, we've lost 4,000 gallons of water. And our station has always had 5,000 gallons to roll out the road. And if we go that route, we're gonna go from 4 down to 2,500 and still have 1,000, so we would be down to 3,500 gallons of water sitting on wheels versus 6,000. So we're just trying to look at all the possibilities. I've even made contact with K&T just to see what kind of a cost factor it would be for 64 to go in for a refurbish and have them put an automatic into that truck and put that truck, keep that truck in service for the next, hopefully, replacement.
Right.
So I've got a lot of avenues that I've gotta chase and get numbers together, but it's gonna be a big process for us to get this moving forward.
Yeah, I'd be interested in taking that class also.
Okay,
So let me know what's.
Absolutely.
going on with
yep, absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you, Brent. Library, nothing. Animal control, nothing. Town manager.
I just have one thing that two things. So I gave you this spreadsheet that
Yes.
shows where we stand. I did work with Jessica, the loan is paid
Okay,
in full.
wonderful.
And I gave you an updated sheet, that shows the 1.6 project summary.
Right,
And this is what we've spent so far, which leaves the 73,299.75. But we still do have a couple of things the paving for one,
right,
and we don't know the upgrade to the electrical, the
okay.
cost on that.
So let me just clarify this, the 1.6 is what we were total approval.
No, no,
1.7 was
what
total,
the town approved was a 1.7
right,
loan and 600,000 from fund balance.
okay,
We set the project at 1.6,
okay.
and that's where we stand at the 1.6.
Okay. And so basically the million was our grant,
Yep,
and the balance of that,
yep,
whatever that number adds up to, I can add it up, was what we took and used.
yep.
Okay. I wanna know what that number is. Hold on just a second, you guys. So it would be 342, 724, correct me if I'm wrong, plus the 183, 976.25. So we spent out of our fund balance 526,700. Our total expenditures are right here under the project summary, is that
Right.
correct?
The 1,342,724 and the 183,976.
Right, but out of that total, 1 million of it was our grant.
Right,
So those two numbers, 342,724 and 183,976 equal 526,700.
okay.
That's
I'll
what,
see what you do with that.
Plus the paving, correct?
that 183 came over here, it was out of here, with all
That's-
this.
Right, but
It's
we
just
still
a
got
partial
paving more to do.
Right, we have more to do, but my point is I'm trying to figure out what we've spent out of fund balance to
So,
date.
Okay,
So that we've only spent 526,000
Okay,
out of the
Yep.
600 we were approved to
Yes.
take.
yes.
Okay, correct, all right. So we have 73 basically left for our paving, that last electrical upgrade
Yep,
and that kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, that puts us in pretty good shape then.
yep,
Okay, all right, good.
A question about that too.
sure.
I've been down to the fire station and it heats like crap. Like all the heat rises to the second story. There should have been a fan or something to push the air back down. I don't know. I think at this point it makes sense to get our heating bill down.
yep.
We need to add some sort of
Well-
fan to push the air down.
That was, so, our electrical bill down there is astronomical
Wow,
and getting worse. So, first I went down and there are little electric heaters in the bathrooms, in the 3 utility rooms.
right,
So, I opened all the doors, turned the heaters down to as low as they'd go,
Right.
so they were heated from the base.
right,
There was an issue with the bathroom being too cold. So the bathroom, the first bathroom, or the bathroom, is, the door is closed and the heat is on minimum.
okay,
I went down today when we got the light bill and opened the decontamination room,
Right.
shut the electric heat off. The heat is already off in the utility room.
okay,
But the only other, well, there was one other issue, that I thought might be, is the hot water. Because the hot water is heating all the time. And,
what is it, is it not an on-demand
no,
system?
it's not,
Is it
no, it's a new system,
A hot water
energy
tank?
efficient.
It's a hybrid efficient system, but
Basically a heat pump hot water heater.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a heat pump hot water heater.
Yep.
But it's not on demand.
Can't you adjust those to say just go to a traditional,
You can turn them on just electric,
right,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
I mean mine works great. Cut my bill quite a bit.
yeah,
'Cause
So-
I use that so in the summertime my furnace doesn't run all the time.
right, yeah.
Um,
We had just put one in before we left, and I thought you could adjust it
You
to
can put it
whatever
on-
your need was.
yeah, well, you can and you can't. You can put it on your away or eco mode
Yeah,
or all electric,
yeah.
but
How big is that tank? How many gallons? Do you
I
know?
think it's 50, but,
What kind of bill are we talking?
Yeah,
Let's go with that.
so
My bill at
ours
home.
is doubled.
My bill at home went up $176 from last month to this month.
It went up 110 from last month,
And mine went up 176.
but
so-
our bill right now is double what we were paying. So,
Double what we were
trying to
paying
find
here
ways,
Or the old station.
the old station.
Okay.
well,
So,
that,
Par for the course.
yeah, that's part of the course, really.
but the
Yeah.
big thing is trying to, you know, get it down to a, you know, I mean, I talked to ABM today. The hot water heater, he went over that with me. And it does have a mode to be away. If we were to put something on so it's shut off and turned on, they don't recommend it for that
No,
tank.
no,
They
no.
recommend that if you're gonna shut it off, you drain it. So his other recommendation was that when nobody is there, to open the 2 doors and shut the heat pumps off, so that the bays are heating the day room.
Okay. So if we're gonna do that, I would suggest we think about a couple of fans to push that warm air back down in some sort of fashion.
It's a good 20 degrees warmer on the second floor
On
than
the
it is
mezzanine.
Yeah.
downstairs, yeah.
Yeah,
It
Yeah,
gets a lot.
you need something to,
yeah. Well, Carmel Electric is
Right.
coming here to do the lights.
right?
So I'll ask him
It should,
about a
I
couple
would
of
think you
fans.
could just run a conduit with 2 or 3 fans and push
I
that.
can see.
I think what you're gonna find is we're not gonna save money on it. It's, if you turn it down, it's gonna take that much more to heat it back up. If we put some fans in there to push it down, it'll be good.
I think if you put fans in, I don't think you're gonna save money on it either, it's just a whole different building.
Yeah.
I mean,
Completely,
that
whole
old,
different
that old
concept.
building up there
Right,
probably
but we
didn't
could,
have.
like, they're not there 90% of the time,
Mm,
so we could shut the heat pumps off, like ABM said, shut those off and just let
Right,
the
open the
base
doors and let
open the doors.
right, let that.
You know, cause
the
those
base-
heat pumps do,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and, he was gonna look at a couple other things. But
Yeah, I don't think you should mess with a hot water tank. At all.
Anything
He
after
said the
heat
only
pumps,
thing-
You set them and let them go.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
don't
You
turn
let it
them off
go.
and on, or it's the same thing.
Katie shuts hers off and on. I don't, cause I heat
Mine's-
my house on
Mine
two times.
consistently runs. The only time I shut mine off is if it gets like real cold, I'll run the oil
Right,
furnace
that's
over
what
it.
I do.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking -20,
Right, but-
-30
Yes,
for days
yes.
on straight.
Yeah.
Can
That's
you
how
just
I,
leave,
I just leave it on and that's how we heat our whole house.
Yeah.
Like we literally fill our oil tank once in a winter
Yeah.
because we run our heat pumps.
maybe
So-
you could just put the heat, what do you have the heat pump set?
Say that again,
What do you
please.
have the heat pump set?
60.
60.
So, if I can interject, when Cindy mentioned that the first time,
Yeah,
she had gone in, shut everything off and opened the doors up. And we were down there for one of our meeting nights, and I literally had gone into the bathroom, and I went, my God, it's cold in here. I come back out, and I was bitching that the bathroom was cold, and one of the other guys went in and went, oh my God, it is cold. So we went and got the thermal imaging camera, and went in with the truck, and we went down all over the bay that's set at 60, and the bays were running at 59 degrees.
right,
So not far off,
Right.
but 59 before the cold weather even hit. So you're already at a cooler temperature as it is. The bathroom was, when I went in with no heat on and the doors open, was 54. If you went right up to the outside wall of the bathroom, it was 52. So as it gets colder, that room is gonna continue to get colder. So I told her today, and I didn't, no disrespect, but I'm not gonna have my guys going in there and being cold in the bathroom. So we turned the heat back on and closed the doors back up on one
turn
of the
the heat,
bathrooms.
right, the
Electric
heat-
heater.
The heater.
Yeah.
Problem is, when you got a concrete slab, and you turn the temperature down,
It goes to the
and that
outside.
slab
yeah.
starts to get cold, it takes so much more
Behind
energy to warm it back up than to just keep it at a steady temperature. You know, there's gotta be a happy median, and I think putting some fans in there will help keep that
Push that
a lot
down,
warmer.
push that air down.
I mean, that'll cut us down a fair amount on what we're using for
So that-
propane, I would think.
maybe next budget term, we look at some other heating source. Electric resistant heat is not.
Probably should have been radiant
That's what I was surprised at, yeah, that we didn't do radiant heat on the floor and not the whole bay necessarily, but the smaller areas or something that, where we could have put I was actually kind of surprised that that didn't get mentioned.
Yeah, hindsight's always 20.
Oh, always.
It totally is.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I mean, it was just one of those things I had thought probably was gonna be an option and it never got
It's a
brought
lot
up.
more upfront cost, but in the end, it
Yeah.
works really well, but. until
And I'm
we
just
go
afraid,
one
my other thought process is, you know, as we do stuff, I mean, Monday nights, we a lot of times open the doors, pull trucks out, sweep down floors, and clean up, and then open the doors and bring trucks back in, and all that does is drop the temperature just like that in them bays, and it takes a long time for it to recover. You got a big area that's just nothing but open concept.
Well, that's the thing, as soon as you open that door, the cold air rolls in.
Rolls in,
and
pushes all the hot to the top,
Yeah.
and you've got nothing but cold air at 10-foot level and below, you're
Plus
literally
exhaust
feeling
fans
nothing
kick
but
on, right?
cold. What's that?
Your exhaust fans kick in, don't they?
Yeah, well, if you start the trucks up for any length of time for them, yes. So, you know, there's a lot of other variables that we gotta think about,
Well, I think you
because,
just gotta use a little bit of common sense. I say, you gotta leave those heat pumps on 60, set them on 60 and leave them.
oh, they don't,
If you wanna
that's,
warm up the bathrooms for your meetings, I don't have a problem with that. I'm kinda old school, I feel like a plugged in electric heater is a fire hazard though.
There is no plugged in electric heaters.
these are hardwired,
Oh, those
These
are
are
hardwired
hardwired.
electric
but they're still
heaters.
electric heat,
They're-
which is still,
Electric.
nothing
diesel.
draws worse than electric
Yeah.
heaters. I mean, they run off an element that
I
just
thought people
pulls.
plugging in heaters in there, I was like, oh
Yeah,
my god.
it works off resistance.
Yep, and it just doesn't do well on cost effectiveness.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, you got 3 rooms that those were designed into, and there's nothing you can do about it, because that's the way it got designed. So, I mean, right now, we got a decontamination room that if I had somebody come back in with something that got on them, and I gotta take them into the bathroom, they're going into a cold bathroom to start with, before I can even get them into a shower. You close that door up, obviously, and then turn heat up, they're still gonna be cold when they come out of that shower. There's no way around it. What's that?
Those heat up pretty quick though, don't they?
I would think so,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
small room.
Yeah,
I mean,
The
you
time-
can't-
it's like the hotels, when they had them in the hotels, you
Yeah.
turned them on, they like instantly warm.
yeah.
So, I mean, you gotta look at all avenues of what possibilities
Right,
are.
but it's hard to fix every situation. I mean, you could do what ifs all day, but it's hard to address every single situation.
Well, yes, what I'm-
I think
but
you
what
just
I'm-
gotta
what I'm
use your
getting
common
at is-
sense.
What I'm getting at is, the bills that we're getting right at this moment doesn't surprise me for a building that size. I
We're
mean,
still learning.
I must be the only one that's surprised with it, cause that does not surprise me that we're getting a $300 or $400 bill on a building that size that's
My
running.
building is a third of that size, and my electric bill last month was $12.60. So, I'm not,
Oh, no.
I mean, I run a lot of 220 stuff, compressors 220 and furnaces 220.
I think we get
It's
some,
gonna take some time for us to fine tune everything.
right,
Right.
I think we get
That's
some
why,
It's
fans
obviously-
in
that's why I
there.
it's
thought
obviously more
about
than-
doing this to see if it does save any money,
Right, right.
you
I think
know?
we're messing with nickels that we're gonna save. I think a fan, at least,
Yeah, that would be
One.
money well spent.
Yeah, I think
but I
if
don't
they,
think we're gonna nickel and dime.
Well, the
10
thing
degrees.
is, this price, we're gonna run out of money.
I'm gonna have to find it somewhere, get it in the budget next year, cause it's
That's
nothing that
why
we,
I'm trying to see if
Nothing
we
we
can
can
save a
miss.
little.
okay,
Well,
well,
good old wood stove.
I like your thinking. You gotta,
Bonfire.
we'll
gotta
just
look
get
at
a,
wood.
we'll just get a sawzall and cut a hole right in the wall, stick it right out.
And there lies another part of your issue, if you stop and think about it, that building is nothing but metal.
yeah.
Metal
Well, it's
conducts
got,
cold
it's
like
got
this.
super duper, it's got some really good
It has
insulation,
insulation,
that's what it's
but you can
designed
still
with.
see the beams and stuff are still completely exposed through the running of the top line
yeah,
and
that's
down
how
the
it's
back
built,
line.
yeah.
If you go over and put your hands on them, they're cold.
Well, it's metal, yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So, I mean, there's a lot of elements that you need to look at in the building itself that we didn't have up here at this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had a wood structure to start with, you didn't have the open concept.
Right.
I mean, all
Up
that
there.
mold growing makes heat, so.
So, I
There's a
mean,
mushroom farm in there.
like I said, I didn't think that's that far outrageous on
Well,
price.
I said,
But if
let's,
we can save money, we should.
It's a lot less than my house.
right. I just feel like you're gonna have to work it out as
My
you
guys
go.
aren't doing anything that's costing, if you're holding it at 60 in the bay and you're holding it at 60 in the day room, I can't go much lower than that.
No,
Well, I
no.
did find out today that, because I went down and put them all down to, what was it, 59 or whatever it was in the bay. 55, I guess. And, so there's 3 heaters. And I noticed that they don't run in sequence. There was one running all the time.
Right,
And when I went down today, I checked that one was at 67.
right.
So I turned that one back down, so maybe now they're all at the same, it'll keep an even, I mean, cause when you walk into the bays, it should be a little chilly when they're not there.
Or when the garage is in the
And it hasn't
driveway,
been,
yeah.
you walk in and it,
Yeah.
for somebody to go in and jump in a car, it was comfortable.
Right,
So,
right.
but if there's cost savings there, we, I think we have an
You could keep
obligation.
could you
So they're
keep-
set at 55 right now?
Yeah.
So the day room can stay at 60? The heat pumps in the day room
I
can
think
stay at
is at
60?
60, I didn't touch that today.
Okay. And then you've got the heaters on in each of the bathrooms, the,
Just one.
Just
She
one.
has the
The
other one
first
shut off and
bathroom,
the
and then
door's
I
open.
opened the second door, turned the heater not off, but all the way down. Just so that the bays help heat it, cause that's a decontamination.
that's kinda cold though.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bite the bullet and find some money for electric bills.
Yeah.
So,
55 is not gonna heat them other rooms open enough to keep them comfortable. You're got
well,
quite
what
a
you,
drop.
I understand what she's saying, there's nobody in them. There's not a lot of people in the decontamination room or the utility room.
No, but the decontamination is still also used as a bathroom. It's not just a decon. When we originally started, it was set up that it was gonna be decon only, but it also had the urinal. So it's a multi-purpose room. That on there is for the legal terminology to the room, but usability wise, that room still gets used as much as the first bathroom does.
Right.
When you've got 6, 8, 10, 12 guys down there, we're all doing stuff, those doors are swinging all night for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
People are going in and out to go to the bathroom. I can't ask them all to stand in line.
I get it, it's okay, you can, I get it.
Well-
I'm not disagreeing with you one iota here.
We gotta find some money for the electric bill, cause I can guarantee you that Rissen's gonna be trying to get their money back from all the work that they.
Well, that's where all your
do.
raises, your
You know?
monthly raises are going right now is
Oh,
because they're
it's
gonna
supposed to be going down this year.
Supposed to be.
Rates are supposed to be going.
Yeah, just before the storm, that was announced
Yeah.
before the storm, and now you wait and see what they tell you, sorry.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's gotta be a happy medium, okay? Maybe the bays go back up to 60 and they, that kind of thing. But by the same token, I don't think we're hanging out in the bathroom that long. You're relieving yourself and you're washing your hands and you're getting out. And, that kind of thing. So I feel like there's gonna be a happy medium.
It's just a,
Right.
check
I would say, if we have to go.
this, check that.
If we have to go into another account to get some extra money for the electrical bills, I don't think anybody's gonna be upset with us about that, because the difference between that building and that building is the difference
Yeah.
between a pumpkin pie and an orange,
Right.
it's just completely, not even comparable.
But it's, like I said, it's just a matter of, testing this, testing that,
Right,
see
right.
if there is a
I think
savings, if
fans-
not, then we'll go back, but,
By all means, let's get Carmel Electric down there, see if they can put 3 big fans up,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
push that heat back down.
yeah,
But, don't turn the heat down too much.
no,
You gotta make it livable.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah, those,
You gotta make it
Keep it where
usable,
it's
yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so, after that, anything else?
yes.
Okay,
So, I wanna hand these down. I guess this was a recommendation,
oh, okay,
Katie wrote this today, in discussion, when these cans come in and we disperse them to have people sign on something.
that was good. I'm just thinking how many people are gonna leave and take their cans with them, and Cause there's no way to.
But they signed it.
Yeah, but I guess we could send them a bill.
I was gonna say, if they leave, what are you gonna do, chase them down? Forward an address, I mean, that's gonna be hard to,
I wish it was a way.
Actually, you know, typically when they do move, or if they, well, not so much if they move, but if they sell, they put their new address on like their transfer stuff, so if they sell, yes, we could probably get them if they took the can, but.
Alright.
I didn't put that in there, did I? I thought I took it out. I thought about
Okay,
that.
so I have,
So does it say
I have
cans
number
that
three.
with those?
number three, I
No.
have a problem with. If you feel your household will need a second can, fine. You may purchase additional cans through the town at an expense to you. How about you may purchase additional cans through the town at a discounted rate, but at the resident's expense? I mean, what we're trying to say is that we're gonna sell you an additional can at our cost, correct?
Yeah.
But you have to pay for it, basically. Additional can through the town.
You gotta
And
keep in mind that when we, after we give out all the first ones, and we have to order more.
They're not gonna be the same
Shipping
price.
a smaller amount's gonna be a lot more, so it's gonna be more than,
so at the town's cost,
yeah.
That's why I think we should have taken pre-orders for them, just to get in the ballpark.
but at the resident's
Thing
expense.
is, this truck is full. You can't put any more on this truck.
I know, but it would give you a ballpark figure, so then you could call him and say, this is how many we're thinking extra we're gonna need, and then you could get the price on them, to know what the shipping was gonna be.
Same as if I wait.
Right.
It's gonna
Well,
be the same
then we
price.
would know, so people could have an idea of what price range they're looking at. So you could say,
Because
oh,
we're gonna
be
have some of
around
these
$80.
that are left, that are gonna be one price, and then if there's more, I'm gonna have to order them.
and the price is gonna go up
And it's
on the
gonna
next
go
ones. So the first come, first serve on the 50, whatever the 55 is what we've been using as a number, but
Right.
Yeah, but
whatever that is.
That's something that we can't control.
No,
We have no control over
No,
that. It's
I'm just
that
saying that
simple.
if anybody jumps on it, they wanna jump on them now at the
The thing is,
lower pricing.
Right.
the second cans, a lot of people already have them.
true.
A lot of people already have the
They think
big,
they're gonna need them, but they already have them.
the
Once
96
they
gallon,
learn
yeah.
what they can use for a can.
Have you guys put together like an informational sheet
We're
on?
working on a newsletter that will go out and, actually the instructions are going to be stamped in the tops of the cans
Oh,
as to where to put them, how to space them apart.
good.
And
Okay.
Katie's gonna do an informational video where she shows how to use the can.
I'll leave that to you, Vanna.
Going down her driveway.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we making changes to this? I mean, I know this is just something we drew up. I think it's a great start, though.
Yep, any changes you wanna make?
We are 64 or 95 gallons, and I would
They're
say
96 gallons, aren't they?
96
Ours
gallons.
are
yeah.
95,
Are they?
yeah.
I thought they were
I
96
thought on the
too.
brochure it said 96.
Yeah. I think I have the brochure with me. Nope. But, I would
The
say
autos were 95, I think the toters were.
64 or 95.
Yeah, 64.
I know the autos were 95, I think the other toters were 96.
And meet the specs on the website. How about that?
So the toters are,
And round cans, as they will end up in the truck with your trash. That's fun. I'll give you the first can
That's an easy way to get rid of
free
it.
of charge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Set it out there by mistake.
don't need these round cans anymore, just take
Exactly.
them.
Just take them.
talking about the
Please.
64s.
And we'll stay with these ones.
Do me a favor. Do you know how many, think about how many trash cans are gonna be left around town that,
96.
Was the toter, but the auto was a 95. Right,
Which
so
one did
there-
we order?
we ordered the auto,
Oh, we did?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't mind me then.
Okay.
We keep saying toter.
They're all toters, but just different companies.
What wasn't the other brand actually toter?
Was it?
I think so.
Yeah, that
yeah, the
was.
other brand is Total, yeah.
That's why I'm confused.
95 gallon.
One gallon. I can't see that being a big
Piece of
difference.
cardboard.
Yeah. I got a feeling the first couple weeks are gonna be an awful learning curve for people, as far as where they put them, place them, and how they,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
No
think
matter
we
what.
could get through Christmas without having a whole bunch of extra trash. All the cardboard went in the fire pit. Because it was nice out. I didn't mind sitting out there and burning
oh,
it.
absolutely, no. I noticed that a lot of people on the roadside today are putting out all their Christmas stuff now, like, we gotta get rid of it before they change their mind on when this thing starts.
Yep.
It's kinda funny to see
So
people.
This sentence right here, so, number 2, if your trash can is damaged due to neglect, snowplow, or other reasons, it should be comma, you are responsible for replacing the damaged instead of property, I wrote can, at your own expense. Okay, then it says the can you purchase will become a replacement for the original and will also stay with the property. Okay, so the new can, how about the replacement can? The replacement can, that seemed a little weird to me. The replacement can you purchase will become can't say replacement twice, sorry, for the original and will also stay with the property. How about the new can? The new can you purchase will become a replacement for the original and will also stay with the property. I'll give you my changes. I think this is a great start. I just think you gotta really spell it out.
Well, that's just the day they pick them up, like in the newsletter that we have,
Right.
that I have made up, it's meet your neighborhood trash can.
It's
And I
meet
put a
your
picture,
neighborhood trash
yeah, and I put a
Nice.
picture of the can on there, and it tells all the details that it won't tip over in 40-mile-per-hour
It's your
winds. and,
neighborhood trash can.
Like all the details of like where they need to set them and how far apart and so.
Nice.
Snowplow bangs out about 10 or 15 on the first.
I don't know
Run
about
day
everybody
and
else,
They
but
will
my
on
phone
Western
was
Ave.
giving
I
me
don't know if
all
the side
kinds of
roads still get them
videos
as
on
much.
trash pickup now.
Yes.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Just what I wanted
Yeah,
to.
the phone is doing all kinds of good things. So, anything else, town manager?
Nope, not right now.
Okay.
I do need to have a personnel matter down at the bottom.
Okay. Cemetery, roads, anything?
No, I just did there was a pothole on the North County Road and, the ditch at, the Miles Road, Wellman's came up and fixed today.
All right. So those 2 things have been repaired. I thought they were gonna replace that culvert on North County Road.
There was nothing wrong with the culvert, it was a
It
pothole.
was just a pothole.
I kept
Right
being
in the
told
middle
it
of that
was a
big
hole.
Okay.
It's not a hole, it's the pavement's come loose.
Okay, good, that's all good news. Nothing new business, old business, fire station final update, we just did that. You guys read your policy book?
Yep, I did.
Does
Did
any-
you? The
I-
question should be for you.
I know, I usually don't, but I did this time. I did, I came through, Brian. I didn't have any changes, as a matter of fact. I thought it would all look pretty good. Did you have any changes?
I didn't. All right.
Did you have any changes?
I just had a question on
Okay,
one.
let's,
We'll let Brian go first.
yes, Brian, go ahead.
On your summary on the first page,
Yeah.
it says change on the bottom. Changed amount the department heads have their discretion from 2,500 to 1,000. Shouldn't that read 500 to 1,000? We didn't decrease anything. They were 500.
We increased it
Right.
a few years ago.
Yes.
Yes.
That's my point.
How about their discretion from 2,500 to
Why did we
1,000?
change that?
And added that they fall under the
Why
same
is that?
quotation
Yeah.
system as the town manager.
I don't know.
Question, use of
Purchase and bid policy. It's not what department heads can do, it's the,
It's what you're bidding. Purchase and bid policy, so this is number 1. The department heads may purchase items at their discretion up to $1,000 and within the approved annual budget. Must handle purchases under the quotation system. There is no form of bid advertisement, however, no official sealed bid opening when the quotation is requested. Any item more than $1,000 must have a signed approved purchase order signed by the town manager. All departments are exempted from the stated requirement for emergency situations as deemed so by the authorization of the department head of the town of Newburgh, up to the amount of $2,500. So they have
Up to $2,500.
Any item more than $1,000 will set aside purchase order. All departments are exempted from the stated requirement for emergency situations as deemed so by the department head, up to $2,500. So I just took that to mean that they could, in an emergency, they could purchase something that was
I
absolutely
understood that part, but
needed.
I was wondering why.
if that was written the way it actually is, that's my point. But I can get to that when
Well,
we get to
this,
that.
the
category.
changes is just changes, just a summary of your changes.
Summary. but-
Changed amount, department head discretion from 2,500 to 1,000 and added that they fall under the same quotation system as the town manager. Verbal request for use 2,500 emergency funds must be made. Well, that isn't the way it is now?
I think what the change you made was to take it back down to $1,000 instead of the 2,500. I don't remember, cause
I don't either.
Rebecca did those, so.
I don't either. Cause
Well, I
it's
get
right
a
now,
little bit more, so.
he is 2,500 for him.
25 for me.
And anything over 2,500 up to 5,000
Goes
is
to
me.
you, right.
Yeah.
I
So
was-
maybe that's, maybe it's supposed to be 25. Yeah, department heads may purchase items at their discretion up to $2,500. I don't know why that got changed.
Okay, so let's make that change.
I don't
That
know.
happened in
2,500.
a half a split second.
Okay, first page.
Okay.
Number 3,
Yeah,
deposits are made weekly. I remember you talking about this the last time we did it, and you had changed it to every other day.
That-
Why is it going back to weekly?
Because we're only open 4 days a week. Generally, I take them on Thursday. A lot of times I'm not going through, so doing them every other day has been kinda hard to get them there. But I make a point of getting them on Thursday
That
before we go.
amounts to a lot of money, doesn't it?
Huh?
Doesn't
If
that
it gets
lot-
up, I make a special trip during the day.
so like tax season, you go like on
Yes.
Mondays and
Yes.
like Tuesday at noon time, you take
Yes.
everything in,
Yes.
and then again
And I
on
don't
Thursday.
make other plans, so if I'm going home, I take them,
Okay,
so.
alright.
But as a general rule,
Do you feel every other day is fine and on normal business hours for making a deposit?
generally what I've been doing is weekly. I
Just-
take them Thursday on my way home.
Right, right,
Unless there's a lot,
right,
then I will make a special trip over.
okay, alright. Is that,
Yeah, that's,
If you feel that's adequate,
yeah,
you don't have a problem with it now, right?
No,
you know when we do these things.
and when I'm not here down the road, it's gonna be easier for somebody else to make a weekly trip to the bank that doesn't go through every day.
say that again?
So
She goes by the bank every
You
day.
go
I
by
go
bank,
by.
yes,
Winterport's running into it right now because they have to make a special trip
right,
to the bank.
right.
And
But
it
you're on your
saves
way
them-
home, so you
right,
just, yeah,
It saves them money. A
Right.
lot of times, I'm not going through Brewer or that, so it's easier if I have the choice of waiting.
Do you ever get a lot of people paying in cash? At any time,
No,
would they be
not a
of
whole
cash?
lot.
Yeah.
During tax season, there's a few, but we don't,
very seldom, mostly checks, you guys?
This happens every year.
Okay, so where are we going next, Brian?
Right?
Just a point of how we do some of these things, I wonder if it wouldn't be better, because some of these sheets have revised 623 on it,
Yeah,
on the top right-hand corner,
right,
other pages don't. I wonder if we put the original date on those, on these, on sheets that we do, and then when we revise, have the revised date on there as well.
on each
Along with-
policy,
Yeah,
yeah,
and each time it's revised, keep having the date,
So you know
so,
when it-
yeah, so you
Yep.
know when it
Change.
was done.
Yep.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
that's a good idea.
Byron, the changes that you make, we can bring the final copy
Right, like all the
and have
revisions
it
from this.
revised as of today.
Yeah, okay.
On your employee internal controls, I guess, it's not under employee.
Okay, internal
Number-
controls.
Yeah, number 10, should we not have a sentence in there that last check, shall not be issued until all town property is returned?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yes. All pay requests shall have the required warrant signed prior to providing the checks. Just maybe create a sentence that says, if an employee has been issued town property, a last paycheck will not be issued until the town property has been returned.
Okay,
Question on the days off.
I knew you were gonna pick up on that. No, I'm just kidding.
We, if standard procedure, holiday falls on a Sunday, we take the Monday off. What do we do with holidays on Friday or Saturday?
we don't get paid for them,
We're not here anyways on a Friday.
we're not here on
I
Friday.
understand that, it's still a paid holiday.
And we probably should have a clause that says if it falls on a Friday that,
The problem we're creating though is, are you giving them the day off? If they're not here on a
I
Friday,
understand. No.
yeah. If they're not here on a Friday.
Is it a holiday or is it not, you know, I mean, like Independence Day, some years you get it off, some years you don't.
Right, sometimes, right, yeah.
Food for thought.
Do you guys feel like it's fair?
I don't have a
I don't
problem
have a
the way
problem
it
with
is.
Okay,
If it's on Friday,
right, Fourth
we
of
just
July.
don't get paid for
Right,
it.
right,
Just one.
right.
Alright, so. Next page under vacations. Under B. Second sentence says vacation leave will ordinarily be taken in blocks of 1 or 2 or 3 periods. Does that mean weeks? 1, 2, or 3 weeks? What's a period?
I would say it was a week.
So you're gonna allow somebody to take 3 weeks vacation in succession?
I guess. As you know, we've had a hard time trying to take one, so.
I know.
Not lately.
Not unless you want your garden watered, and then we want her to take
Yeah,
a
that's
vacation.
right, that's right.
So vacation leave will ordinarily be taken in blocks of 1. How about if we do 1 or 2 weeks? Extended vacations must be discussed and have prior approval from the town manager, something like that. I mean, if there was an instance where somebody was taking their vacation as part of a
Depends how long, I
recovery,
forgot.
or, you know.
All of the changes. that we made.
Exactly.
But cause it used to say that they had to take at least 1 week.
Right, it's in there. It's in
But
there,
now
so-
the way I'm reading this is, they have to take it in weekly, all of it in weekly installments, which shouldn't be the case.
Right.
Right, you could take a
Go
couple
Because
days.
they had to
Here,
take
there,
1
there.
week all at once, they had to be gone for a full week.
Right,
The rest of it, they could take at their discretion,
okay.
so,
They could split it up to 2 days or 3 days,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah,
So then you'll
Well,
have to rewrite
Yeah,
this.
can you rewrite this?
I'll rewrite this part.
Okay.
And did I miss it, is vacation carried over?
No,
Not carried
No.
over, is it, paid, is it paid
usually,
out if somebody leaves?
only with your, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, on H, there's, article, sick leave. A little confused on that too, because are you allowing people to, you get up to, 4 days a year, right, of sick leave.
Yes,
Okay, And then H, employees may carry over. Now, I added over, is that what that means? It says carry up to.
And no more than 3 weeks or 12 days of sick leave.
So they can accrue 3 years of sick leave, is that?
3
how I
weeks.
read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is 12 days, sick per-
Right. And I thought I saw, but I couldn't find it again, it cannot be cashed in, correct?
No, No.
This is something that's probably gonna be discussed at, when you do your seminar for the FOIA request.
yeah,
I'm curious as to whether personal equipment belonging to employees is subject to that. For example, say Katie uses her phone for town business. Is her phone subject to FOIA?
from what I've been told, yes. But we didn't, they canceled that class, that was one of
I know
the
this-
questions. When they come about again, we'll ask.
And then on to our purchase policy.
I fixed the 2,500.
Right, 2,500 is on the top line.
Just for her. That's the only one they can look at.
Under number 2,
Mhm.
I would suggest on the second sentence, the town manager may handle purchases under quotation system.
Right. But it is not required by law, correct? I mean, it's not a law or an ordinance
There
that
is
we
no
have to.
law, this
yeah.
is,
And number 3, we don't do a signed purchase order as a select board,
no,
but it's written that way. In excess of $5,000, we've always just voted on it
Right.
as a
Well, why don't
article and.
we just say it will require a review and vote
Just take that whole
by
section
the
out, 'cause
majority of the
last-
Number 3.
the- Yeah, the last sentence will take care of that.
okay.
Yeah, it will.
Number 4 is kind of more of a question and comment. Purchases when they go out to bid and to advertise to take bids. And when I recall that fellow that got so angry at us because, at the last town meeting, because something, the camera system supposedly didn't go out to a bid, but yet it did, because we solicited the vendors on our own.
Right.
And my thought is, who, if you put in the Vanguard Daily, who reads the Vanguard Daily?
No, nobody is, for
And the cost is
businesses.
astronomical.
Well, I know,
No.
and then I
Probably
look
should
at,
solicit bids.
then I look at what happened with the trash collection system, is that we looked around, we went to all those that we knew,
Yeah,
but then all of a sudden, others started coming out of the woodwork, you know, and is there a different way to kind of solicit bids that's more
Right.
effective?
We should have with the plow contract, probably.
Yeah, that's kind of
well,
what I
I
was thinking.
put that on MMA, it was on there for a month. That's
People
where
should've
everybody
called
goes
around.
for municipal bids. There's a whole RFP section.
It's weird.
I'm sure it'll work out, it just hurts my
Hurts your wallet.
pocket. Not what I was gonna say, but
No.
Yeah,
Now, I also remember, I thought, that we had a section on warrants. And as hard as I looked, I couldn't see it. It's probably right in front of me.
see it.
So wait, let's finish number 4 first for just a second. So, for bid with advertisement and official bid opening by
Last
the
page.
select board meeting.
This last page applies to payroll. That's what you said.
Oh, I was just gonna say, alright, what I was saying is, are we gonna take this out, put out for bid with advertisement and official bid opening by the select board meeting for construction project services in excess of $15,000? I would be more comfortable, because a lot of times we have worked with Wellman because they've been the only person who's really been very, very accommodating for us. If this said something to the effect, contracted services in excess of $15,000 may be put out for bid.
You can see
With-
in the black, that takes care of what you're concerned about. We've got the, but
May
majority
waive this
vote,
bid
we can-
procedure.
waive the
You may,
procedure.
okay, all right. I just feel people get stuck on that. Well, didn't you put it out for bid?
Yeah.
Nobody reads that paper anymore,
Yeah,
you know.
agreed.
Okay, so back to what you were saying about warrants.
Oh, I couldn't find it. I remember we had
Policy on
something,
treasurer's disbursement warrants for employee wages and benefits.
but there was one on warrants that was not specific to payroll.
This is the only one we've ever had.
No, I know there was another one. The reason I know that is because it says that we're
It's on the
supposed to-
signing, we had one, and I thought it was in here, where one could sign the payroll for us to be able to disperse it.
Right.
That's what you just read, that last page.
But then there was
Policy
another,
on treasurer's disbursement warrants for employee wages and benefits and state fees.
but there was another one somewhere in there that says it required 2 signatures on AP warrants. Unless
See,
there
I
was
can't find
an
that.
emergency situation where then it could be voted that one person could sign it, I believe.
Okay, so under number
I saw
8,
that
Right
too.
here,
It's in there.
financial policies.
I knew I read this, yeah. Okay.
2 original signatures shall be required on each check. The trio system and office documents shall be backed up each day. Disbursement payments to vendors shall only be made when an invoice is received.
That doesn't, it's not talking warrants, you're talking checks.
Well, you can't give out checks unless you do a warrant.
I get that.
But
I don't-
it doesn't say how many people have to sign down farther in that,
It's not, I
It
can't
does.
find it.
it doesn't.
about the
2
warrant.
original signatures shall be required on each check.
I know, but at one point in one of those policies, it stated how many select board members had to sign it before checks could be issued.
That's the one on the back.
So,
No.
no, I'm under internal control policies, and on number 8, hold on a second, was it 8 or 9?
Because what else is on this, was on
8,
that,
all disbursements shall be posted to specific account and specific item in that budget. The amount shall be approved appropriation. The manager shall review warrants and checks and, wait a minute, number 9. The select board's full signature on the last page. The select board's full signature, I'm assuming that is,
What one you on?
I'm in under internal policy, internal control policies. Under disbursements, number 9. Number 9 says, while the select board is required to sign warrants, the select board shall not be a check signer, okay? In addition, while staff members are approved check signers, staff members are not approved to sign warrants. But it does say in the beginning of that, the select board's full signature on the last page. And I'm assuming it's referring to a warrant.
Yeah.
Number 10, payroll. It says all payroll requests shall have the required warrants signed prior to providing the checks. It doesn't really say that you could, and we have discussed that one person could sign a payroll warrant, one select board
We have
member.
had an occasion
Right,
for signing the checks. The one on the last page dictates the one signature on a warrant for payroll.
read it to us.
This policy allows designated municipal officers acting on behalf of the full board of municipal officers to review, approve, and sign municipal treasurer's disbursement warrants for wages and benefits and state fees. Which is saying that payroll, like we have the warrants for the state, reports and
Right.
stuff. The
Right.
school payment all can go out with one signature.
Okay, right. Okay,
we had a section that was devoted to warrants. Part of that indicated that it was required that each selectman had to initial each sheet of the warrant and then sign the back copy. That was part of that section.
I don't remember that.
I know it was there, I know it was.
I know they have to sign, but I mean, the initials, you guys kinda started.
Right.
No, it was part of, a policy.
It was in there at one point, cause I remember that it was in there, because the AP, that's how I learned how the AP works, because it stated it has to have 2 signatures.
Right, but
Out
he's
of the
talking
3.
about the initials. I understand the signatures, but it's the
And
initials.
she's saying that there has to be 2 signatures.
Before I
What?
can issue an AP.
Right, and
Before
that's not in here.
It used to be.
It's not here.
So can we make an adjustment under
I'm gonna have
internal
to pull
control
the other ones
policies?
up. I don't know what she's done. Because that's state law. The majority has to sign a warrant before we can disperse an
Maybe that's where I read it then, in the town manual.
AP warrant. But we have this one on the back, because state law also says school payment, any state funds that we send to state for things, and payroll, we can't hold up because we can't get a signature.
Right.
So that's what this one does, allows one person to come in and sign those types of
So
warrants.
those things can move
And
forward.
we can disperse checks.
Right, okay. So where it's a law, do we need it in the policies?
We can, I'll pull up the
It
old
was-
versus
I'm
the
telling
new.
you it was there.
I believe you,
I'll pull up the old one versus this one
okay,
with Rebecca tomorrow and see what happens.
okay. A change could easily be made under that section 9 of internal
Yep,
internal control policies. Anything else, Brian?
No,
Why don't we make these changes and revisit these
okay.
again? So I'm not gonna do
Okay.
anything on that. Sand shed?
So we gotta start thinking about what we're gonna do for a sand shed.
I remember, do you know the town manager in Thorndike,
No,
by any chance? Would you be comfortable calling them?
Sure.
They just built a sand shed down there, and it's just concrete, and it's not a Quonset hut.
it's that same building that that guy talked about, correct?
No, it's not that building, it's not that pipe, and it's basically 12 feet of concrete. I think the key to a long-lasting sand shed is more concrete above grade.
Yeah.
You gotta protect the building. What they've got is they got 12 feet of concrete, 4 below, 8 above, a big door on each end, and then it's just a wood frame structure up about another 8 feet with a shingled roof.
Cheap.
It looked nice, but I think that will,
That was a huge controversy in that town.
was it? Oh,
Thorndike.
I'm kinda curious,
It lit a fire.
think I know who did it, but I'm not sure, I'm kinda out of the loop. But if you wouldn't mind calling Thorndike and asking them, it looked like it was cost effective, but I really feel like if you're gonna replace that structure, you've got to have more concrete. But
Right,
that concrete, that old concrete has lasted, what do we say, 25 years?
More.
A long, long time. If you put new concrete in there and, because now they've got product, you can treat the concrete every couple of years, treat it with the anti-salt, stuff. But I think the concrete on the metal, the sand salt near the metal is
Just the
just
moisture
eating it right
altogether.
away.
That's what's
Yeah.
killing it, it's the
It's just
moisture.
eating it up.
Yeah, if you
And,
can get
uh,
it high enough, it's gonna, the moisture's gonna stay towards the
Right,
floor.
exactly. And like I said, they had a big door in the front, big door in the back, and it was just wood framed. It was a wood frame structure, trussed roof,
Yeah, fairly cheap.
asphalt shingles, and some vinyl siding.
I'm sure there's probably something they spray on the wood on the inside to
You
keep
could
it.
probably spray the wood with the same kind of thing, or I don't know if you would use a definitely pressure treated silk,
Yeah.
but I know that there are products now that you can spray onto the concrete, sealing it up every couple of years or something like that, and where that's salt resistant or that kind of thing. But
Yeah,
if you,
I got emails from the insurance company again yesterday.
yeah, I don't know, we've repaired it, we've treated it, we've done all the things to it that I think we're gonna be able to do, you know.
So, when I met with Jeff and Keith, they kind of were throwing around 3 different ideas. One being cheaper. So, I guess, I mean, I can call Thorndike and find out what they have, what they
Right.
paid for it and all that. But I kind of think that we need to talk to somebody to narrow down what we want based on somebody that knows what they're talking about as far as what those two were talking about that day, is about what type of buildings are out there, prices, because we're
Well,
gonna have to have an
It should not be a
engineer.
steel building. I know he would like to sell us another steel building, but I don't feel like it should be a steel building.
No, he actually was favoring a wood one.
Yeah,
And it was, the wooden one was, the 2 wooden ones were, one was, a pre-made truss that was kinda like this, or just go up square.
that's what Thorndike did, they just went up and they've got,
He said is a lot cheaper.
it's just pre-engineered trusses, boom, 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 right down through it.
Yeah,
An asphalt roof, vinyl siding. I think, but I'll go back to that concrete thing again, I think the key is you've got to have the concrete up higher. I mean, that's only 4 or 5 feet
that's
above
what they
grade
said down
out
there
there.
that day, you'd have, which
Whatever you put on
he
top
said
of
wasn't
it.
gonna be a fun thing, but they were talking about adding to that.
Oh,
But
God,
it
I
would
wouldn't
go-
do that.
We'd be 2 or 3 years, we'd be back in the same boat.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Concrete does not, I don't care.
Putting new on old is not a smart move.
Concrete does not bond to concrete
Nope.
very
No.
well.
Absolutely.
And you're just gonna get
And
that
that's what he
old
said,
crack,
but
cracking the new
we'd be
concrete.
better off
so
to go with
yeah.
a whole new concrete.
Right, exactly, but I think the key to that, like I said, is more concrete above grade.
Right.
If you feel like going for a ride, go down and look at
I've
Thorndike's
looked at a bunch.
salt shed,
Yeah.
that's a good looking one, and I think it's pretty cost effective, and I think we could get, if, I would say to Thorndike, can you tell me who drew your building, or where you got the plans, did you buy them offline? I'd like to buy a set of plans for bidding purposes,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. And, that looked about the same size as ours too.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, so,
What
I'll
was the
call him
controversy
tomorrow.
with that, Katie, do you know?
They were
Yeah,
just
so
really
maybe-
upset about having to put one in and the cost. That town's pretty wish-washy and they have some backdoor stuff going on. But they actually chose a steel frame fabric building with a poured foundation.
oh, was that a steel frame? That didn't look like a fabric.
It looked like it just,
Trust, you know, yeah, wood frame building.
Nope, this news article says it was residents chose a steel frame fabric building with a poured foundation for the town's salt and sand shed during Saturday's Thorndike town meeting.
it looked like a,
Maybe they changed their mind, because it did not look like a steel frame
I'll find out
fabric
tomorrow.
structure.
I'll call tomorrow.
Because
Cause
it,
Holden just
am I
put one
looking
in
at the
too.
right place?
I think so.
Okay. Did you see it?
yeah.
It just,
It's
it went
just
up
a-
about 8 or 10
Yeah.
feet, and then truss roof, and 2 big doors,
It says
back and front.
It says a steel frame fabric with a precast foundation was $356,000.
Oh,
A steel frame
He's come back
fabric
to life.
with a poured foundation for $423 and a laminated arch structure for $447.
See, they didn't use any of those structures, I don't think. I bet
No,
they,
it's wood.
it's wood, I
Or
bet
a
they
dimensional
swear
repriced
it's
it.
wood.
construction for $467.
I bet they got it, figured out how to do it cheaper. How many, that was about 2 years ago, 3 years ago they built it, Katie?
2021.
2021, yeah.
They hired Waterville-based engineer for an A.E.
A.E.
Hodgson.
Hodgson.
Yeah.
I mean, my number is like 250, 300 to build something like that. I don't know what the concrete's gonna cost, cause I know it's expensive right now,
Concrete's wicked expensive right
crazy.
now. It's
but
not,
I mean,
it's
the
not
wood
up so
structure's
much.
not.
I would think your wood structure would be the cheapest part of the whole thing. Your
Yeah.
money's gonna
Holden
And
be,
the best
built
thing about
one
the
and
wood
it was
structure is you can
almost
replace it.
$800,000.
yeah,
The wood structure, you can replace it.
right, if something rotted, you could literally take the top off and put a new one on.
Replace pipes too.
Yeah.
I saw a town had their sand all piled up and covered with like 500 tarps. I'm like, oh, you poor bastards.
The town doesn't bother there's the poor guys
Yeah,
that
that's
are
what I
doing this,
mean,
doing
the
the
poor guy
plow, and them
driving
poor
the
son of
truck.
a guns every time they gotta go in and
Yeah.
out.
Or we can just have a gravel pit, we'll just scoop it as we go.
That's the idea to go with.
So I will call them and find out what the scoop is.
Yeah, cause I don't have any objections to having a little workshop or something and talking to some people, but
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
I think something like that, I bet, off the top of my head, I bet it would cost $600,000 or $700,000 just for something that straightforward, just because of the earthwork and concrete,
Yeah,
not the
I
other
mean, you're
part
gonna
of it.
take all that out and it's gonna
Yeah,
be
you're gonna have to get rid of all that,
yeah.
it's a project, it's a project.
Yeah.
There's no grants for it, is there, Cindy?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, anything else here? Let's see, playground update.
Fire department training center.
Playground, we figured out the other day, and I think we're gonna hash it out again, but we're, based on the money we received, we've enough money to buy the 2 big sections,
Okay.
2 big pieces, but not enough to install them. So, we're gonna look into some other ideas of, cause for the company where we're buying them, it's
Yeah.
about 30 grand to install them.
It was 18.
Huh?
It was only 18,
But we were about $30,000
right,
short.
cause it was $6,400 for shipping
Yeah.
and 18 to install it.
So,
Okay.
and Katie is putting in for another grant in this month
Oh,
to try to get it, but, and
Okay.
hopefully that'll
nice.
come through and we'll have work for spring.
Okay, all right, and anything else with the building security system that you wanna
Nope, they
discuss?
called me a week or so ago and said they were gonna stop in the next couple of weeks. And I told them, I said, just give me a heads up before you head over. Well, he showed up here Thursday? No, yesterday. Yesterday, and I wasn't here, so he's coming back. So,
Okay, so there's that. So is there anything else, you guys? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we, not adjourn, but go into executive session.
second.
Okay, all in favor? It is 7:22 and we are going into executive session.